Total Pro Sports presents the 15 biggest crybabies in sports. Ah, crybabies. It seems like professional sports always find a way to bring out the whiniest people on the planet. There are some athletes that go out and play tough, and ones who just whine whenever they can. Here are the 15 biggest crybabies in sports. Number 15, Bill Belichick. The hooded genius should just accept the fact that he is the best head coach in the NFL and leave it at that. Of course, Bill has to make a big deal anytime something doesn't go his way. Grabbing an official, walking off the field before the game ended in Super Bowl 42, or refusing to show up for press conferences when his team loses is just being a baby. Grow up, coach. Number 14, Bobby Cox. When you get ejected 158 times in your career, there is something wrong with you. Bobby Cox's total ejection numbers just about make up for an entire regular season. Sorry, Bobby, but not every call goes your way. Number 13, Sidney Crosby. Like many other superstar players, Sidney Crosby just can't get away from diving or whining. He is the best NHL player on the planet, and part of that is his skills in flopping enough to get favorable calls. Just play the game, Sid. Number 12, Chris Bosh, the man who allegedly started Crygate with the Miami Heat, is also a big baby. Chris Bosh also made favorable headlines when the Heat lost the 2011 NBA Finals Series to the Dallas Mavericks. Enough whining, Chris, you're a big boy. Number 11, David Ortiz. Big Papi may be playing his last MLB season in 2016, but he's going to always leave behind a reputation for crying. He always whines about new rules introduced by the league. He whines if the defense is credited with errors instead of getting him hits. And stop saying that you look like the bad guy when you are a bad guy. Good guys don't whine all the time. Number 10, Adam Morrison. When Morrison's Gonzaga NCAA basketball team was shocked by UCLA in 2006 during March Madness, Morrison made a huge name for himself. That was due to him having a huge meltdown in the middle of the court, crying badly, tucking his jersey over his head and weeping. That became one iconic moment in sports lore. Number 9, Milan LUCIC. What more needs to be said? Here's what Lucic has done. Cried about how he's done with Vancouver because one fan hassled him at a bar, gave Logan Couture a cheap shot into the bench after a clean hit, and threatened to kill Dale Weiss after the Canadiens beat the Bruins in the 2014 NHL playoffs. For a big boy, he's got the attitude of a 3-year-old. Number 8, Glenn Davis. Poor Davis. He doesn't have a huge reputation for being a crybaby because he only has one incident. That occurred while teammate Kevin Durant yelled at him over something during a timeout. Davis was obviously very upset over it. He earned the nickname Big Baby for a reason. Number 7, Serena Williams. I have problems thinking of a more annoying job than to be the tennis official who has to constantly listen to the Williams whine and whine away. She loves to complain during any close call. Being one of the greatest female tennis players of all time, the success clearly goes to her head. You can't get every call to favor you, Serena. Number 6, Des Bryant. Despite being arguably the NFL's best wide receiver, Bryant isn't much of a team player. His recent rants towards reporters in the locker room have summed up how whiny he is. He is always seen yelling at his teammates on the sidelines if the ball isn't being thrown to him. Sorry, Des. The Cowboys feature 52 other players on their roster. Number 5, Terrell Owens. Owens, like Bryant, always had a big mouth and a huge ego. His really unfair meltdown after defending Tony Romo in a Cowboys playoff loss went viral. Owens hasn't been able to contain his emotions, and his fiery temper led to a bitter breakup with the Philadelphia Eagles. Owens wasn't quite the same when he left the city of brotherly love. You probably shouldn't leave a team because they didn't celebrate your 100th touchdown celebration. Big deal. Number 4, Milton Bradley. No one in recent memory has played baseball with such a temper. Milton Bradley always yells at umpires. He's literally stolen bases and just loses it over calls that don't go his way. He really should have learned to play the game and not cry so much. Number 3, Cristiano Ronaldo. Despite being arguably the top soccer player on the planet, Ronaldo won't stop complaining. Playing in a sport where players have great theater performances and flopping, Ronaldo does the exact same. Ronaldo has cried over his team losing on multiple occasions. His meltdown after losing the 2004 Euro Cup Finals is more memorable than the fact that he was a 19-year-old bursting onto the scene. Number 2, LeBron James. Where to go with this guy? LeBron James has whined throughout his career. The man is the best basketball player in the world and is also a king flopper. Even though it's so obvious that he gets the benefit of 99% of the borderline calls, he can't stop crying whenever he commits a foul or doesn't draw one via flopping. Just keep dominating the league, LeBron, but do so as a man your age does. And number 1, Tom Brady. Call him a great quarterback all you want, but Brady's crying has gotten him to a great point of success in his career. Because of his constant whining for flags every time he's sacked, defensive players can barely go near a superstar quarterback anymore. Brady has thrown countless fits at coaches, refs, and teammates when something doesn't go his way. He can be seen talking his way out of intentional grounding quite often. Simply put, he's a champion of crying. No one will ever understand why he has to be like this. And that's it for the 15 biggest crybabies in sports. But wait, we are not done with you yet. In the comments below, we want to know, who do you think is the biggest crybaby in sports? And of course, for more cool videos, click subscribe.